Hello, sorry I'm a little bit late. I had to chase the chickens into their, is it called coop? Coo, the hen, yeah, the place where they sleep anyway. They have this thing where they don't want to sleep in their hen house and they want to sleep outside, and we have foxes around here. So we kept them in for like almost a month, and they learned, okay, sleep in there. But every time I go in here, they're like, oh, I think we want to sleep outside the office. They like it there. Hey, Jack. So I had to chase them in. And they're not too fond of being in when they want to be out. I hope everyone's had a good week and a good day, and that you're ready for some meditation today. A good week, a good day, and I hope you're ready for meditation today. That rhymes. Nice. Nadia, Christian, Jack, nice to see everyone. What have you been up to? How's your meditation going, by the way? It feels like we talk about like big topics, but sometimes I wonder how people are actually doing at home with their sittings. It's nice to be here, but I think the main thing that people many times miss, that is, it's the continuity. It's not just like how much you sit every time. It's really important to try to do it regularly as a daily practice. And it doesn't have to be that long. It can even be that you just do the 20 minutes we do here twice per week, and then in between you do 5 or 10 minutes. It's just like keeping that up, and I think keeping your mind so that your focus on it. I sometimes forget that people have lives outside of meditation or outside of being aware of what they're doing, since I spend the majority of my time aware of what my mind is doing and what I'm, maybe not so much my mind, but what I'm distorting towards, and I'm relating to the world around me. So it's something that's just so ingrained in how I live my life that it's easy to forget that many people just live their lives, and you get lost in the hustle and bustle, and then it's so easy to forget to stay aware and to not get caught up in these when things get difficult and you start feeling, oh, I feel angry with that person, and not get carried away. Jack is saying, I have foxes, deers, pheasants, rabbits, and a lot of intruders who eat my plants. And we have deer, pheasants, we have not that many. Rabbits, not so much, fortunately. And they don't come into our garden so much, fortunately. I know some of the neighbors have problems. And foxes, we still haven't lost any hens, but a lot of our neighbors have lost hens to foxes. We have lots of kites here, and they can take the hens also. See, Nadia saying, just meditating for a few minutes here and there, but also reminding myself of the principle of being here. Yeah, I think really what it comes down to is we do the meditation to gain, like to practice the mind. So the word for meditation in Buddhism was bhavana, which basically means to train the mind, to make the mind strong and pliable so that you can use it. And what you want to do actually throughout the day is just asking yourself, how are you doing right now? Like what's going on? Are you feeling bad? Are you feeling upset about something? If you're distorting towards something, and then if you are feeling bad about something, or you are distorting against something, or just being in a bad mood, then asking yourself, why am I not in a good mood? And we're so used to the idea that the reason I'm not in a good mood is because that thing there. And we believe our state of how we feel is determined by the outside or inside world, which it isn't. It may seem so, and it's very tightly linked, but it's not. So constantly asking yourself, how am I doing? And if you're not feeling well or feeling in a good mood, then there's techniques we can go in to see, like, okay, why not? And what can I do about that? Why am I choosing to wait with feeling good until a later moment? Because ultimately that's what you're doing. You're saying, I'm not going to feel good now, but I'm going to wait until this next moment, which is also now. And when that moment comes and these circumstances are okay, then I will choose to feel good. It's just that the minute you get there, then the mind goes, well, actually, I want it a little bit different, so I'm going to wait until this moment here. And when this comes, then I'll be happy. And then you get kind of there, like, wow, it's not really what I want. And we just keep running around like that, waiting to be happy sometime later, until someone dies, or we have a breakup, or something serious happens, and we like start questioning, oh my goodness, what am I doing? Like I'm not going to live forever. We have this idea that I'm going to have forever to do this. You don't. I mean, we might just have a few more days to live. I have no idea. Maybe just a few more hours. I could literally die. I'm taking, for my insomnia because of the neck and all the problems I've been having, I'm taking pills now that what do you call them? We call them biverkningar. The side effects are like, yes, some of them were saying like you can randomly just start driving the car in the middle of the night, or some relax you so much you can stop your respiratory system in rare cases and cause death. And I'm like, okay, I'm not sure I really want to take these pills. But yeah, so we don't know. We don't know. And then why are you waiting? What the hell are you waiting for? Why? Why are you waiting with feeling good? Because this ridiculous thing outside of you is never going to be the way you want it to. Why not just to choose to feel good now? Like, why wait? And that's easy to say when we're feeling good, but there is a bridge, and especially I think you really need that no mud, no lotus. You need to feel how bad it feels to feel bad, to realize like, hey, I don't want to feel like this. I want to feel good again, like I did when I was a child. And that's really where we move towards when we constantly keep asking ourselves this. And like I said in the last coaching session, you can focus on being in a good mood, just feeling well. Like that's all we're asking for. We're not talking about like, woohoo, but just leaning towards feeling well, in a good mood. Second one is to be forgiving, is what I use for the word. And including in that, I say, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you. What we're looking for is the stopping with this pushing against things, letting go of the friction, the tension that you have. Because when you say, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you, even towards yourself when you're feeling bad about something, it just drops that tension. And then the other things that are kind of outside of this, but at the same time aren't, is think about what you're eating. And really here, I'm just like, I think if you want to do one thing, just stop sugar. Unfortunately, I'm sorry. Sugar, and there's just eat healthy. Second one is sleeping, which is a problem for me, at least right now, because of the pain. And then finally, it's how much we use this thing. This is like, I think this is one of the main reasons why people feel bad mentally. I really think that sugar and this too. If people just stop these, just throw your smartphone away and just go to a computer and check your email, I think a lot of the mental problems that we have would just be so much better. And when you do those things, you become more close to your senses, and all of a sudden you'll walk in like, oh, and you just see a part of your house and you're like, well, that's beautiful, and you see the colors and the way they go together, and it just feels, wow, it's nice to look at that. That's like one of those soft non-centric states where you just realize, oh, look at this, and you're just seeing it not as, oh, this is mine, I've done this, I've seen it 1,000 times, I know it is, but really seeing it anew like a child would. Let's see, Christian is saying, I've become more regular with meditation since finding this channel. How long has it been? 6 months? I think so, yeah. It's probably half a year at least since you came here. Maybe even longer. I'm not sure when I started coming here, but thanks. Thank you. It's nice to have you here. Jack, Satipatthana Sutta should be a must-read for anyone interested in meditating. That's Satipatthana Sutta is about being aware of the breath, and that's sure. If you like reading those kind of texts, it's a good one. Hold my Nika lecture to read. If you're interested, it's very, like all of those texts, I never really enjoy them because they're written in a very specific style. For some people, they work really well. But it's kind of like Thich Nhat Hanh. Thich Nhat Hanh, he just speaks like poetry. For me, it's just like, just get to the point. Like, what on earth are you talking about? Like, there's so much fluff around him trying to say, but he's trying to create a mood or feeling, and I just don't vibe with him, so I don't get what he's saying. But some people love it, and they're like, oh, this is amazing. And I just don't. And it's the same with the old Theravadan texts. They're the same thing. Some people, I mean, they're very different from Thich Nhat Hanh, but some people vibe with it, some don't. Nadia, I can't stop thinking about something very bad that happened at work to a child, and imagining feeling their pain, wanting not to be so sensitive. Is it, you mean, I can't stop thinking about something bad that happened at work to a child, and imagining feeling their pain, wanting not to be so sensitive? That is difficult when you have something like that. You're feeling what they're going through, and I can have that as well. Sometimes we have a neighbor whose child is the same age as my daughter, and who don't know exactly what happened, but something happened at home, and she's in a wheelchair, and she's really like she had I think it's lack of oxygen to the brain, so her brain is damaged, and she's in a wheelchair with assistants that walk around, and she's the same age as my daughter, and I remember her when she wasn't like that. And seeing her now like that is kind of like shocking, because I could think that could be my daughter. Again, I don't know what happened. She could have fallen in a pool. Something happened so that she choked and didn't get air, but some kind of brain damage anyway. And thinking about how close that can be, and how close, it's just like a few hundred meters away, that really makes you think about, like, that's terrible, like how that can happen. And it's difficult to not go in and start distorting towards this. And I think here, it's important to not push that feeling down, because you say, I don't want to be so sensitive. I'm saying the sensitivity is not the problem. The problem is that you keep holding on to it. So being sensitive, meaning I feel a lot of stuff. Like, I'm so sensitive to my fiance. I know what she's feeling better than she does, which can be really annoying for both of us. It can be very annoying for me, it can be very annoying for her. But my point is that when you feel something like that towards someone else who's going through something difficult, I mean, I know you have a child, and when you have children of your own, those things just hit much harder, because, like, oh my goodness, that could have been my child. That could have been my child that went through this. That's really, absolutely heart-wrenching. And then it's just distortion. So you're basically reacting towards that as if though it was your own child. I mean, you are a mother. If you weren't a mother, I don't think you would have felt that much. So we're not talking about pushing all of this down, not feeling the pain of whatever it is. I'm assuming, you're a nurse, so I'm assuming something happened at the hospital to a child. And obviously you don't need to say, and you can't say, I'm guessing. But stuff like this just sticks with you, and we tend to not want to process, because it hurts so much to think about it, that we kind of push it down. But actually feeling, just letting it come up, you will see that it will come up and kind of almost feel like it's overwhelming, and then it just passes. There's nothing there. What makes it feel so painful and keep on is you're like, imagine if it was mine, and we do like this. And I mean, I have done this. I'm not saying like it's easy to do this, but just allowing that to come up and seeing it's just a feeling. It hasn't happened to your child. This child over there, nothing gets better by you feeling bad about it. Like, it's not going to help anything. If you want to help them in some other way, then obviously you should do that, if you can. I don't know, but the pain from that is not absolute, and you're not a bad person, because that's also another thing. We feel like, oh, who would I be? What kind of person would I be if I can walk away from that and still feel good? And that's when it starts getting difficult, because we have to understand that that doesn't mean you're a bad person. If that was so, then you would feel bad constantly, because right this minute, there's someone being murdered. There's someone being raped. There's someone in an absolutely horrendous situation that we cannot even imagine. There's someone being kept against their will. I'm sure there's people kept in basements and absolutely terrible places. Like, and if you start thinking about this, you're going to go insane. You just, like, we can't hold on to all of that. We're not made to hold on to that much misery and weird just shit. Like, there's so many weird people out there. Our minds can't function. We can function with, like, there's some, I don't know what that, there's some research, like, oh, you can handle like 100 people or something. Like, that's the amount of society or group that you can handle. But we have to handle like several thousand people, and we're constantly being bombarded. And we listen to stories on YouTube about all these things, and then you go to a hospital and you see tens, dozens, maybe even 100 people per day. Like, then you go, it's a lot to process. So we're not really made for that, and we need to learn to let go of it. And that doesn't mean you're heartless. That doesn't mean you don't have empathy, that you can't feel with them. It just means that we need to do that, and that's a part of the self, because the self feels, who would I be if I felt okay even after this? And that's hard. That's difficult to do. I remember when I was ordained as a monk, and people would come to me, and I would hear all these absolutely insane stories, because a lot of people who were very hurt and damaged would come to the centers. And the only thing I did, I was just sitting listening to them. I didn't try to come up with a good answer. I didn't try to solve their problems. The only thing I did was just sit and see, am I distorting, am I pushing and pulling against this? And just made sure that I wasn't reacting towards what they were saying, but just being like a blank page. Just tell me. Just tell me whatever you have, and I'll just listen and not react. Just have it come out. And it was incredible how much it helped people to have someone who was just like not like a stone, but like a blank piece of paper. You could just throw whatever you wanted at it, and it just kind of came and ran off. It didn't stick. So I understand that's difficult, but there is really a big part of the self that feels like, who would I be if I didn't feel this? And you don't need to feel bad. It's not making you a bad person if you let go of that. But that is a difficult one to deal with. Jack, from what I saw in the past 2 years, a lot of questions that have been asked here were pretty much answered there. If you're able to listen to that, read that way, Jack. And that's the thing, like there's not really much new. You don't need more information. It's just that people need different angles and perspectives and ways of talking about it that would help people to understand it. Hey, Nicole, nice to see you. A long time no see. Hello, everyone. Sorry I've been missing. I've been working 2 jobs and my beloved cat is very unwell with a kidney problem. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. I hope you can. Yeah, I hope so too. Oh, poor little pussy Mao. Kidney. Yeah, that's. And they're so small. Like, how do we kind of, I don't know, how do we deal with it? Oh, my son was with, I don't show pictures of my kids, but you should have seen him. He was with a dog today, a big, is it a Labrador? They were white, kind of like a golden retriever-ish. And my daughter is scared, crazy scared of dogs. And he just like, oh, he just went up and hugged it. And when he walked away, like, doggy, nay, I should stay with him. And then he just petted it like this. He just held on to it. And then like lied down, and the dog was so old and calm, he just lied down. And he kind of lied and cuddled up with the dog and like petted it like this. And sleep with Nanny, he said. Animals are so adorable. I wish I wasn't allergic, otherwise we'd have them also. And I really hope, because I know people really relate to their animals as if though they're a family member, so I hope that they're okay. May have come to terms with him dying much sooner than I thought. Oh. Yeah, let's hope not, but yeah, sometimes that happens. Nice to hear people are, like you're saying there, Nadia, that's the kind of thing that's really important to think about, because if you weren't here, very likely it would have just been, oh, that's just how it is. Yeah, it's just how it is. I don't want to feel this way, but actually find the ways of, and realizing, okay, I don't need to feel like this the whole time. And there are ways of viewing this differently and learning to handle life in a more effortless way. Nicole, are you in the, we opened the forum, by the way. If you go to my post and what do you call it, the community page on the channel, there's a community post, yeah, and then you can see a link to the forum. You can go in there and you can chat. You have a voice chat, so if you want to talk to some of the group, we could, if anyone wants to just chat there, you can just say, oh, like, let's just meet after the sitting or someday, and you just go there and you chat. You don't need to have me to do that. I think it's good for people just to talk with each other. Oh, 4 years old only, that's not old for a cat. I was, you were in Greece, right, Nicole, if I remember correctly? Was it Cyprus? Yeah, sorry, you just tell me what you want to say. I think you've said it here as well. But I was, many years ago, I worked on Sunwing in Rhodes, which is a Crete. Sorry, yeah, thank you. I worked on Sunwing Hotel in Rhodes as a singer and a dancer. And we had these little scooters. And we would like have shows in the evenings, and then during the day we'd drive around. And I remember in Rhodes there were lots of homeless cats. And one time I was driving through a crossing, and there was a cat in the middle of the road, just a tiny kitten lying there. And I drove my moped and I was driving like, oh, there's a cat, and like weird around it, and the cars just going and in the middle of the road, like lots of cars running. Like, oh man, it's been hit by a car. It's probably, I'm just going to move. I can't just, it's so cute. So I stopped at the side of the road and eventually just stopped all the cars, ran out into the middle of the road and picked him up. And I was expecting to get like a bloody just intestines and everything. But he was old. And he just like put his claws into me and then was like hanging on to me for dear life. And I took him and he looked okay. I'm like, oh, what are we going to do? And we were a whole team of Swedish singers and dancers who lived in a hotel. So we had our own floor. And I'm like, I can't just leave him here, he's going to die. So I took the cat, I put him in the scooter underneath the seat, closed it, and then drove with him back to our hotel. And I'm allergic to furred animals, so I can't have cats. But I'm like, what are we going to do? And there were some girls there, and like, oh, little good bird. I'm like, okay. So one girl, she really she liked him, and he was jumping on we had like balconies, and he was jumping on the balconies, running into everyone's room and going into people's bathrooms and pooping, which some weren't too happy about, but most of them liked him. It was like our house cat. And then one of the girls, she's like, I'm going to adopt him and we're going to bring him home. So this is so many years ago. So we kept the cat, and to get the papers, they had to do some semi-dodgy stuff, but he had to take shots for everything, and they had to do like tests, and then eventually we actually flew him home on a plane, and this Swedish girl took him with her, and he was named after her and me, so Lina and Martin. Lima became his name and her name, and she lived for I think like 15 or 20 years and had kittens, I remember, and I still keep in contact with that girl. I remember that cat. Oh yeah, I always loved cats. Tiger Arts, hey, nice to see you. Do you have any view on psychiatric medicine? I'm conflicted. Apparently I got ADHD, which just feels like a mental concept, not much of a self-explanation. Got horrible side effects from the meds. Yes, so ADHD, I live with someone who has ADHD, so I know how difficult that can be. And it's not just a mental concept, it's a bit more than that. There's a lot of issues that comes from like someone with a mind that has ADHD just functions differently. They just see things differently, and there's also things they can go through that makes relating to the world around them very different than a normal person. So and I can kind of see how it goes in waves. Like sometimes she just functions normally, and I'm talking about my fiance, how she relates to the world, and everything is just fine. But then also other times it can become really overwhelming with the way her mind works. And this is not just her, I've seen it in others. So everything you say feels like criticism. It's very easy to feel like everything anyone else says to you is because they're criticizing you. It's about you. They feel like they're being harsh towards you, even though they're not, and they become oversensitive towards things. You can't see just obvious ways of seeing how something would work is not accessible, because your mind just wants to see all explanations and just throws it in, and it's a mess. It's very difficult to make it work. Now that can kind of sometimes get other solutions that you might not have thought of otherwise. Sometimes, but that's like twice out of 100 times. So that makes life very difficult the other 98 or 97 times. So when it comes to ADHD, I think a lot of people can handle. It depends on how severe it is, but I know a lot of people who handle it without medicine and who are able. I also know people who have taken medicine and it has changed their lives, completely changed their lives. It just, and like I said, I live with someone who has ADHD, so I know how difficult it can be, and how difficult it can be for people around you also. And the thing I'll say about medicine is that it's very important to have someone who understands the medicine, because from what I understand, and having spoken to quite a few people who take medicine, is that if they just give you like, okay, here's the dose, and they just give that, and you have severe side effects and it doesn't pass and just get better, then a lot of it has to do with the dosage. There was someone who said that I think she was a psychiatrist, who said that one of the problems is that they don't test different dosages, and like they don't try to find what works for you. So you should, and this is not something you should do yourself. This is something your doctor should help you with, because I mean they're the experts. But ask them about that, and there might be different medicines you can try. But really, like I believe it can change someone's life. If you're having issues with ADHD, then I really, like, if your doctor suggests it, then try it. And also be persistent in trying. Like I said, ask, okay, can this medicine, obviously not all medicines might not be able to do that, but ask them, can this medicine be taken in different dosages, other alternatives? Because I know some people who it's just changed their lives. One guy, I remember so clearly, he came here and he bought like an old tool, a saw he bought from me, a radial saw. And he was saying how he was on sick leave, and he said like, yeah, I just started taking ADHD medicine, like it just changed my life. I didn't get it. I got burnt out. I was miserable. I was feeling so bad, and I didn't understand why. And then I took a diagnosis, and turned out I had ADHD. And he started taking these medicines. It's just like, it's the peacefulness in my mind is just incredible. I just function like a normal human being, and I can be happy and enjoy life. So really, like, give it a chance. If it doesn't work, and if you feel horrible side effects, ask your doctor about that. Like, see, is there something you can do? Can you try different dosages? Can you try different, maybe different brands and different, like, just ask them about it. And I don't know where you live in Sweden. They're very good with that stuff. So it depends on where you live if you're able to do that. But yeah, I'm all for medicine for when you feel when you have a support for mental problems. And what I think is a shame is that many times in Sweden, what happens is that, okay, you're depressed, here you go, here's some medicine, and bye. And they don't do any therapy. I really believe that when you take medicines and stuff, you should really do therapy and come to the root of the problems. It's not just a chemical imbalance and we just take some medicine, then it's fine. And again, I'm not saying here like, oh, just take them and then just stop taking them. I'm saying like, really talk to your doctor and ask for help. Ask for help, not just with medicine, but also with counseling. It doesn't have to be a psychiatrist or a super advanced therapy form. Just someone to talk to try to figure out how should I handle the things that come up, because otherwise, I mean, ultimately what you want to do is you want to see it as support. Like, I think everyone, not everyone, but there's a lot of people who probably should be on medicine that aren't, because they just believe it's bad for them and it's trying to control them. They have all these ideas and then they're just making their life so much more difficult instead of just taking the medicine and asking for help. And again, that doesn't mean you failed. That doesn't mean you've given up. It just means you've come to terms with, I cannot handle this. And if your life is so difficult that you can't, I mean, that's usually what happens. Life just breaks down so much. They're like, okay, I just can't live like this anymore, so I need to take more medicine. Like, for instance, me right now, I have my herniated disc in my neck is just giving me so much pain that I wake up at 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock at night. I've been up since 3 o'clock this morning, and I've slept, I think, 35 minutes today because I was alone with the kids. And I slept 4 hours tonight, so I'm really tired. And last week I said, like, okay, I can't do this anymore. So I got some sleeping pills and some muscle relaxants that I would normally not take, and they I can only take them for a week to 2 weeks. I think you're not allowed to take them any longer. And I would normally not do that, but I'm strong enough and confident enough to know, like, okay, I cannot handle this now. I need to start sleeping again, because if I don't sleep more than 3 or 4 hours per night, I will just break down. I'm not going to function. I have a hard time talking. I just get in a bad mood. So then I'm perfectly fine with taking something stronger. And then after that, I'm like, okay, now we need to sort out, like, can we do something here? Like, can we do something else? I hope that, I probably thought enough meditation would fix me. Oh, dude or girl. You have no idea how many people I ran into have that thought. And it makes me sad to think about it, because there's so many people who just makes their life more difficult than it needs to be. I have seen so much of meditation, and I have meditated so much that I know that meditation, we tend to see meditation as medicine, as in we take the meditation and then you cure these things and you get more productivity, you get better at manifesting, like all these positive things. But what we in the West don't get is that meditation it's more like kind of just open brain surgery. You're just like pulling out all these things. There are some really good things that can come from that. It can help. It can help with, many things, and it can heal many things. But to begin with, it was a method to get rid of the sense of self, like to get rid of the self. And that's like an inherently difficult and painful process to go through. So there's a lot of difficult stuff coming up when you're doing this. And if you're going through something like severe ADHD or something like that, it can help with it. But when you do more meditation, it can help. But if it's not magic. I think people really overestimate what meditation can help them with when it comes to issues like that. And they really underestimate what meditation can do for their quality of life, their ability to enjoy life. So it's like we just have a little bit of we misunderstand why we're doing it. People do it to get away from something, to get well when they're sick, when in fact meditation is really good at helping you enjoy your life more, which isn't the same as saying you're going to get well. That's not the same thing. So don't make your life more difficult than it needs to be. I would really go another round with your doctor, and like I said, ask them about that. Talk to other people who've taken medications. There's bound to be some channels that discuss this, or some forums, or maybe even someone here in the group who takes ADHD medicine who you could talk to, and ask them, like, how did it help them? What did they have to try? Because I know a lot of people, it's not the first... join the Discord. I know a lot of people who didn't hit the medication the first time, who had to try different dosages or different medicines before they actually got it working. And again, Tiger, are you suffering a lot from this? Is this a difficult thing for you, or is it just like a little bit side thing? Hey JBB, nice to see you. It was a really good call. I really enjoyed it. And the Discord, you can still go back onto the community post under my channel, and you'll find the link to the Discord. I'm always like this when people say things like that. It makes me sad at the same time, because meditation can give so much, but at the same time, I think it has hurt so many people, because they then they kind of insist on doing things the hard way, instead of saying, okay, I take the medication together with meditation and counseling. I mean, that's just doing medication is kind of like, why? You have the medication, you have the counseling, there's so much more you can do. And then look at how you're sleeping, how you're eating, and how you're using your phone, like all of these things together. It's like, why just do one? And don't just go at it alone. Like, doctors aren't bad people. There's so many people in the spiritual world who think that they're just bad. And I know there are countries where they try to like just sell you as much medicine as possible, but like, hopefully they're selling you good stuff, and just ask them and ask for advice, and look up, like, okay, this is something I've heard a lot of people have asked your doctor about that. See, can you help me with this? Is this something that might work for me? And they say, no, actually not, because your problem is not that. So in your case, it wouldn't help. But maybe they have some other suggestion, but really try to look for a solution there, and don't give up. Yeah, I hope you find something, Tiger Art. And don't give up. Like, really, like mental pain like that, it's we don't have to live like that. There are parts of our life where we are just bound to have a hard time, but that doesn't mean we have to stay like that for our whole lives. Christian, every meditation I do, I begin by thinking, this is the one that's gonna fix me. And then I laugh, oh man, I've done that. I always had it like, oh, it's so close now. I'm sure this is like, now I'm just on the edge, because I'd walk around and I feel so spacious, so calm, and like not affected by anything, like, oh, this is it. This is liberation. It's gonna come. And if you think it's really close and you feel that almost excitement, then you can be sure that you have a lot left. Otherwise the excitement wouldn't be there. Nice. Thank you for being so open about the things, and like, feel free to ask again. And please come back and share with us. And Tiger also joined let me just see if I can do this. How do I do that? I'll see if I can put the link. We have a Discord channel here. Invite people. Copy. If you look in the chat, there's the link to the Discord. Join us, and there's other people there you can chat with, and if, like I said before, if people want to just jump on a voice call with other people, just ask, like, I need to talk to someone, and then just go there and you can talk to them. And we have once per month, we have a group coaching call, like we had, was it last Sunday, Nadia? I can't remember. I think it was Sunday. Yeah, it was almost a week ago, which was very, very nice. Really nice to see people, and it's a different dialogue than it's people just typing and me answering. So join there, and yeah, there'll be one more in July, and you can always ask other people for help. Okay, time to sit. I'm like I said, I'm really tired. I've been up since 3 o'clock. So for those of you who are new, we usually do some chatting before. Yes, Sunday, and then we do the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 method, which is a way of reconnecting with our senses. After that, today's Thursday, so there's no guided meditation, but we'll sit together for 20 minutes. And since we've been talking a bit longer, and since I'm tired, we'll just do the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 method a bit quicker than normally. So we say out aloud 5 things that we can see. I can see a vase. I can see a plastic bag. I can see a mouse. I can see a pair of glasses. And I see a dymo. Looks like a spaceship. That's pretty cool. That was 5 things that I could see. Next we take 4 things that we can feel. So I can feel something itching in my neck. I can feel my shoulder. I can feel this brass. I can feel the weight of this and the coldness of it. The shape, how it's pressing into my palm. I can feel my sitting, what would you call that? Protection cover. Those 4 things I could feel. Next we take 3 things that we can hear. I can hear the fan of one of the lamps in here. I can hear some kind of vibrating from a fan. I can hear my tinnitus. There's 3 things that I could hear. Next we take 2 things that we can smell. Now I could really smell the lemongrass in my rooibos tea. I happen to bring it to my face. See if there's something else. There's a sweet smell in here. Almost like some fruit or something. Might be the tea. There's 2 things I could smell. Finally we have 1 thing we can taste. I taste cheese because we made Napolitan pizza today. Very yummy. Thank you. Good night, Jack. I hope everyone had a nice sit. And I wish you a pleasant weekend. For those of you who haven't joined the Discord channel, there's a link. Be happy to see you there. And like I said, once per month we also have a group coaching call on like the video, just like Zoom, but in Discord. I'm tired. I'm gonna sleep. I wish you all a pleasant weekend, and I'll see you on Monday again. Thank you.